What up, you weirdos? Dave here, and I like knives. And today we have a very special piece to me, the CRKT Cricket Buku, with an almost 4-inch blade sitting at about 3 3/4 of an inch, 5-inch handle, a 2 inches in width, and a little bit less than half of an inch in depth. This is no small piece. Clearly taking kukri stylings. If you're not sure what that is, it's an inward curved machete. I have several machetes, and my favorite is the kukri. Just because I think it's the most effective. It puts the heaviest part of the blade furthest up for momentum, makes it a great heavy slicer. Not a heavy slicer, but a heavy chopper. And that's clearly where this comes from. Kind of a pistol grip that pushes the giant, massive hunk of steel blade very far up. This blade is also not two-tone. I'm just struggling to figure out my lighting here. So, there we go. Bear with me. This is a bastion of quality, this channel. Blade of 8CR13 MOV steel and handles of pure stainless steel with a frame lock and a very deep pocket clip. There is a whole lot to love about this piece. Starting with the action. This is one of the first ball bearing knives that I've owned. I've reviewed several since then. I got this before all of them, but it's just taken me this long to get my thoughts together about what all I wanted to say about this. But straight up, fantastic action. With a satisfying click. So you can open it with the spider flick, named so because of the Spider Co. knives, with their big hole right there. You can flick them open, or even with a thumb, just open it nice and standard. There you go. And either way, the lock engages very satisfactorily. I love this thing. Just so nice and easy. And the inside of the thumb hole, of the opening hole, I suppose, is just slightly rounded off. So Spyderco is real bad about this. I've mentioned that a couple of times. There are a couple of other blades where the inside of the hole is a 90-degree sharp angle, and it can tear up your fingers. But the inside of this hole is just slightly rounded, so it's angled off a little bit, so it doesn't hurt nearly as bad. So you can do it repeatedly and not feel pain, which makes this one of my favorite day off carries, because this is far too big for me to carry in my workplace setting. But I love having it around because it is so much fun to play with, just to sit and flick and let go back in and sit and flick, and it's great, and I love it. The pocket clip, a one-position right-hand deep carry with flush screws. You can't see that very well, but it is put into the handle and is flush and is great. That's how you do a pocket clip. It's great. One issue that I do have with it is that it comes down into the cutout. So as you can see there, the grippy retention bit that is supposed to pinch onto your pants overlaps with the cutout that allows the lock bar to do its job. Now, I do wish that it was angled a little bit and pushed further onto this side so that it didn't mess with that, because as you're putting it in your pants and pulling it back out, you can feel a little bit of a rub from just the edge of that ridge. So I do wish that this was pushed out of that way, but it's not a huge problem. Another thing is the massive frame lock of this. Now, you can see it cut out right through there. You can see the lock, and you can disengage it without even thinking. There's not a lock bar stabilizer inserted into the frame. I'm sure you can see that right there. Right there. So this is great. This is how frame locks should be made. With the lock bar stabilizer inside so that you cannot push, so that you, and that's there so that you can't push the bar out of position. Because if you push the lock bar too far out of place to allow your blade to go back in, you could break it. You could permanently bend it out of shape and it won't work anymore. That's why that insert is there, to disallow you from doing that. And it's great. A very nice subtle feature that you can see just right in there. The clip, the lock, the blade, I already covered this, but dog, this thing is big. Kukri style, massive drop point, very high grind, a little bit of a recurve, massive frickin' belly. A little thick, but of course it is to be a blade this size. A little bit of a swedge on top coming to the tip. And I just love slicing with a recurve. Goes through very, very easily. Because of the blade thickness, it's not great for food prep, but because of the high grind, it doesn't slow it down noticeably. So it is just fine. Overall design, I've said it quite enough probably. I'm a huge fan of this. The way that the majority, at least the ground blade, hides in the handle, the way that the thumb hole, the opening hole, lines just up with the cutout for the lock bar, just the way that it looks while it's opened, the kukri styling, the jimping on the back and how it lines up perfectly, and the way that the top corner of the blade is hidden while it's closed. I love this thing. It's wonderful. Not a single inch of handle is there that doesn't need to be, because the tip is way up hidden right here. Few things make me angrier about a big knife than the handle being unnecessarily big, where they just pack in material, sometimes with unnecessary lanyard holes or just extra space. It makes the handle bigger than it needs to be. But for a blade this size, this handle's perfect. Tapers nicely there at the end, allowing all of your fingers to find nice purchase. The back is rounded. There's a little bit of a swell in the middle. I'm not sure if you can see, but the handle is curved just slightly to make it more comfortable for your hand, to make it a little bit more ergonomic. I adore this thing. This is absolutely one of my favorite knives to play with. The only downside is that it is so big. So utility, that's not what this is built for. That's not what this is made for. But that's the only downside that I could see. This has no place in my life, basically. Other than on my days off. No usable place in my life, I guess is what I should say. But like I said, this is a day off knife for me. Something that I can play with while I'm driving or while I'm working around the house or waiting for my food to get ready in the oven or something like that. This is certainly not an everyday utility blade, not for me. I'm not entirely sure what walks of life, what jobs, what uses this could fill in an everyday situation. I'm honestly not super sure. If you do have experience with this blade and you do carry this every day, absolutely let me know. I'd love to hear your story. I want to hear more from the people that use this and that find this usable, basically. This is not at all a utilitarian piece. not in my life nor from my perspective, but perhaps it is in yours and from your perspective. And I'd love to hear about that. CRKT, or Cricket, sells this at $70 on their website. Amazon sells for $40. Knife Center sells for $45, and I bought this from Cabela's for $45. This was teasing me. This and the Cricket Pilar have been teasing me for months and months before I finally pulled the trigger and made the purchase, and I am quite glad that I finally did. So if you see this and your immediate reaction is, oh dog, that is far too big, it's ridiculous, blah blah blah, ball bearings, man. Ball bearings. This blade will set the standard for you in the future of how a blade's action should be, and how a big blade can have a good deep carry pocket clip too. There is no excuse. This piece takes away excuses. It's a big, ridiculous hunk of steel that gets pivots right, that gets lock bars right, that gets pocket clips right, and it's beautiful. Out of 10 stars, I give this a Goosebumps? Is that the massive, ridiculous star that's like 4 stars away or something? And is like 1,000 times the size of our own? I think that's it. Out of 10 stars, I give this a Goosebumps. If I'm wrong, I'll put that in the comment section. But other than that, if you have questions, comments, or suggestions, please let me know down below. If you have stories about this blade or blades like it, please let me know down below. If you love kukris and find them as darn fascinating as I do, let me know. And other than that, have a great day. Bye.